Hey there, my name is Pravus, and welcome to a newly announced game called Wild Country. Imagine you took a card battler like Hearthstone, it got married to a city builder filled with anthropomorphic animals, and they had a baby together, and that's basically what Wild Country would be. This game is developed and published by a new studio called Lost Native, and they're actually sponsoring me today to take a look at a new demo that just released on October 9th for the Steam Next Fest. So of course a very big thank you to them for that, and if you guys want to learn more about the game, you can find a link in the description down below and maybe try the game out for yourself. Jumping into my save file, we are exploring a zone called Big Sky Canyon. The story kicks off with the mayor of Sun City announcing his retirement, and rather than follow a democratic process and host a snap election, he's decided that his successor will be the winner of a grand competition of Wild Country, because that's the most responsible thing to do. As an outsider to Sun City, we need to build up our reputation, and there's a lot of wacky characters we're going to get to meet along the way. I mean, like, here's Charlotte Darling, a fellow fox who's already basically saying I'm ugly. Or maybe an anatomically questionable duck. This guy really concerns me. But the most important thing for me right now is to go ahead and engage in a few games of Wild Country with some of the locals. So let's show you how this works. First off, we roll a token. Looks like I get to go second. All right. Both players are going to start with their city foundation. The goal is simply to build up a city that makes a certain amount of money. Once you cross that magic threshold, you win the game. Along the way, you'll be placing down all manner of different buildings after drawing cards from your deck. Combine them in the right way, and you can make a pretty large profit before your opponent does. I'm actually happy with this starting hand. I'm going to go ahead and accept this. All right, so we have a certain number of cards currently in our hand. Every turn, we are going to draw one more from our deck, and as you can see down here in the bottom left, you have a certain number of tokens. Every turn, the number of tokens you can have is going to go up by 1. So we can start with 1 token right now, then next turn I'll have 2, then have 3, etc., etc. And you can see that each one of these cards has a different cost associated with it. So let's suppose I want to place down a simple gas station. This is a commercial building. It's going to take a little time for it to construct. We can go ahead and place this right over here, for example. Next turn, this will be finished. Once it is built, it's going to start generating me 50 of these coins. Again, the goal for this game is to get to 5,000. So now it's my rival's turn. He draws a card. He decides to place down a taco truck because he has 2 tokens available, and he ends his turn, and now it comes back to me. Now, different types of cards have different classifications, like a classic city builder. So I already said this is a commercial building. We also have residential buildings. Placing these close to commercial buildings typically boost up their value. However, commercial buildings don't like being close to each other because there's too much competition, so you want to spread them out with a lot of residential mixed in between. There's also industrial buildings, which I haven't drawn so far, but let's go ahead and place down, let's say, this simple residence right here. All right, so now we're immediately going to start generating an extra $50 per turn. Once this is constructed, we'll get 50 plus an extra 20 from the treehouse. My opponent does place down his first industrial building over here, though. It's a farm. Once this is constructed, it's going to be worth an absolute ton. Beginning of my turn, I now make $120. The question is, what do we want to do next? We can place down a taco truck of our own, which is worth a pretty good amount of money. And if we place it close to some of these residences, it is actually going to be worth a fair bit. However, then I'll have a spare token and nothing to spend it on. So the question is that the most effective use of our time? I'm going to go ahead and place down instead another apartment building right over here, which is going to further boost up the gas station and start generating another 75 for me. We'll end our turn. Right now, things are looking pretty good for me, but once my opponent's farm is built, he'll be in a good spot. Looks like he's placing down some cards of his own to boost up the value of this taco truck, plus another one. Now, these taco trucks are special in that they only last for a certain amount of time. They are a temporary building. So he's getting a bit of a sugar high right now, which is giving him a nice advantage, but it's not going to last forever. Let's see, we could place down our own taco truck over here. That said, a coffee house might be a better option since it's not a temporary structure. I might want to keep this permanently. Yeah, let's go ahead and place you here, and then I will place the taco truck right along here. We'll just go ahead and start generating a fair bit of extra coins of my own, and once again, end our turn. Now, you can imagine, like so many other card battlers, there's a lot of different things you need to take into account. For example, it's really helpful having a lot of card draw. Spend all of your cards up front with a bunch of cheap cards, and you're going to find yourself out of gas and really at the mercy of your draw, and that's never a very good position to be in. You will be able to edit your deck later in order to customize it and try to have different mixes of cards which kind of fit an overarching strategy. But we're not worried about that right now. Let's go ahead and place a treehouse down over here since that's going to boost up the taco truck and eventually this coffee house. And since I'm running a little bit lower on cards, I'm going to go ahead and spend 3 tokens to draw 3 more from my deck. This gives me a lot of options. Now, something you're going to see over here is we have some special power-up cards. These have nothing to do with building anything, but rather sabotaging your opponent. So, for example, at the cost of 5 tokens, I can steal $500 from my opponent, or we could pickpocket. There are also options to freeze enemy buildings or to outright destroy them or convert them to your side, and the opponent is going to be doing the exact same thing to you. So you kind of have to worry is, maybe I focus all of my effort in one really powerful card, but then my opponent destroys it and all of a sudden I find myself on the back pedal. That kind of thing can happen. Now, some of your buildings, as we can see with this apartment over here, have special levels up. Once you have spent 3 tokens, in this case, I can spend 200 of my own dollars in order to boost this. We're going to do that, losing some points now, but leveling it up, so now it's going to give me $225 per turn instead of 75. So this is going to pay for itself very quickly. Of course, the opponent is going to have a very strong incentive to either destroy or steal this from me, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and take that risk for now. Let's end the turn. The coffee house is going to get built, as you can see here, which means we're about to get a big boost. Now we're making $815 per turn. Things are looking really good for me, but I know from experience that the enemy can turn things around pretty quick. Case in point, he just stole $500. I'm broke. Thanks, bud, for the heist. Wow. That was just outright mean-spirited, but it's okay. It's okay. We're not toward the end of the game quite yet. We're fine. There's a destroy option. I can sabotage him now. It'll be fun. All right, something I'm going to go ahead and do is place down a police station. This shields surrounding buildings, so he's not going to be able to mess with my apartment or my coffee house, which is extra valuable because these are 2 of my best structures, so it's worth trying to protect them. Could also play the lucky stick and try to place down like an extra gas station for some more money. It's tempting, but I think I'll save this in case I end up needing a little bit of extra power later on. The taco truck is going to go away pretty soon. The way you level this up is increase the amount of money it generates. But the thing is, it's still only a temporary building, so I find the taco trucks often aren't worth it. We'll probably get rid of this from my deck in a little bit, but I wanted to show you how the starter deck is going to work. Now, despite the fact that my opponent sabotaged the crud out of me, you can see we're going to start catching up pretty quickly since I'm simply generating that much more money than my opponent. If I were to destroy his farm, he'd be in a pretty nasty state. Now, notice he's building a lot closer to me, by the way. You can take advantage of, let's say, their residential structures in order to start boosting up your commercial buildings. Those kind of things can still happen. So be prepared for the possibility that if you work toward each other, you're now taking up valuable real estate and fighting over bonuses. Can be pretty helpful. Rebel Riot, destroy 3 enemy commercial buildings. Well, he's only got 1, so I don't think that's going to be worthwhile. Could place down another one of these taco trucks. I mean, it's kind of only a temporary thing. Or I could just go ahead and place down the gas station. I think I'll take the taco truck for now, just to enjoy the immediate extra money. And I'm going to go ahead and destroy his farm, because that's what's getting him the most... Well, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to destroy his farm. We could save that in case he built up a much bigger building, but I'm just going to go ahead and start hampering him right off the bat. And you know what? We can go ahead and place down a gas station as well. I'll just place it, let's say, over here. That's fine. Could have saved it for when the taco truck goes away, but I'd rather just go ahead and start making some money and try to go for the win. Actually, now that I think about it, since one of my other taco trucks just disappeared, I should have waited 1 turn and then placed this over here instead. Oops. Oh, well, that's fine. Now he's going to try to restyle my building. Interesting. It's shielded, but he's still got the value. All right, restyle is one of the few things where you repaint the enemy's building, and they can't do anything about it. And now that it's shielded, I actually can't take this. So he actually got me pretty good there. That sucks. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do then. I'm going to go ahead and freeze your taco truck for the next 3 turns. It's going to generate you nothing, and then it's going to automatically destroy itself. Haha. Let's go ahead and also do our own heist and just steal some of my money back. That was mine to begin with, all right? And actually, since I've played down enough of these power-ups, I should be able to go over here to the coffee house and level this thing up again for $200, but it's going to pay for itself pretty quickly if we do this. So instead of 210, now it generates 300. I'll go ahead and place another coffee house over here, and we'll try for the same approximate thing. I really don't have much to do with my extra powers right now, unfortunately. There's nothing I want to destroy. I don't see the point in stealing right now. I might save that for later. So even though I don't really want to waste this many tokens, I can't see much else to do. I need more card draw, and I need it fast. Oh well, I do find that in this game, it's really difficult, if not impossible, outright to win within the first few turns. So there's a much higher bias, I think, You just repainted another one of my best... You know what? You're really mean-spirited. I do not like you. There's a much higher bias, I find, toward the high-value cards, right? In some card battlers, you want to have a really strong mix of early rush games. But no, in this one, I think you really want to go for the highest value possible across the board, right? All right, we can place down a power plant. This is going to take 2 turns to build up, but when done, we're going to get ourselves an absolute ton of money. That could be good, so we'll go ahead and place that. Now, industrial buildings don't want to be anywhere near residential buildings, so we have to keep those far apart. Let's go ahead and do that like so. And then, honestly, my opponent's really beating me here because they have taken my police station and turned it around against me, which is so unbelievably unfortunate. So if I don't find a way to turn this around, and soon, we're gonna be in trouble here, guys. A lot of trouble. And there goes that taco truck. Yeah, I'm actually losing right now. Well, let's try for a little bit more card draw. Pray we get something really useful. All right, we got a farm, we got a freeze, and we got a destroy. I'm gonna go ahead and... I can't freeze, actually, the structure that I built because of the police station. Anything else I could knock out? I might have to save this for the power plant when it's built. He doesn't have a lot of really high-value cards. All right, let's go ahead and place down a farm like so. And then we will... Oh, what can I do realistically here? I'm going to go ahead and probably destroy the apartment complex over here. And I'm doing this because I want to get some extra abilities done with my coffee house. Let's do a lucky stick. That way I can go over here and we can level this up. Again, spending money to hopefully make a bit more money. So hopefully this is going to help at least a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and end that turn. Yeah, my opponents used my strength against me. Really, really unfortunate stuff, ain't it? All right. So what are they going to do now? They are very close to winning. They should get their next turn. Another power plant placed down. Shouldn't do you much good until it's built. But honestly, still probably good enough. I can't even destroy these things. So what do we got? Pickpocket. I can double pickpocket here. Well, that might help. Let's do it. Double pickpocket. Okay, that prevents them from winning. If I can survive till next turn, we are good to go. I'm going to... what? I don't need to worry about these right now. They're not going to build in time. Let's go ahead and freeze this to prevent a little bit more money generation in case they have enough theft card. And that's all I can do here. All right, so the rest of my structures are going to get completed, but the question is, can you either steal some money from me or sabotage my ability to make some money as of this next turn? If you can't, I win, and it was a really close call. But if you can, I'm going to cry. Let's see, made a fair bit of money there. Shielding a structure doesn't bother me. That's totally fine. Placing down a farm doesn't bother me. That's totally fine. That's it. Okay, we actually did win that one. Got a little close. Thank you, Mr. Klimp. But it goes to show how enemy cards can really mess you up if they are strategic and they have the right stuff in their deck. There's a lot of luck involved for obvious reasons, you know. I mean, you can build a really good deck, but if you draw all the wrong cards, that's just the end of it. It's how it is. All right. But anyway, by winning, we do gain some additional experience, so we level up. As your character levels up, you're going to be given some booster packs, so you'll be able to get some new cards. So let's go ahead and click up over here, for example, and we will rip this apart like so. We get 4 cards. What do we get? Another Rebel Riot, Gas Station, Police Station, and a Suburban House. Okay, that could be useful to me. So what we can do now is go back to our collection over here, and we can edit the deck. So for example, I really don't think I want these taco trucks. I mean, they can be worth a pretty good amount of money, but the odds of being able to level them up don't seem especially good. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove these suckers over here. I'm still gonna keep some cheap options like the gas station and stuff, just so I can get myself a little bit extra, but we'll see. I've got a bit of card draw. The farms are fine. The apartment building's good. What we may want to do is go for some restyling of my own, to be honest, because as we learned, that can be pretty darn effective and turn a lot of things around. So I'm going to go ahead and swap that around. We're going to save the deck, and then we're going to go back to the campaign. I spent all my money on these cardboard cards. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, no one said beavers are bright, okay? They're just industrious. Ah, and here's my little buddy, Hawthorne the squirrel. He's trying to show me the ropes and get me prepared for the big competition. Looks like we got a small problem, though. Bunch of trees collapsed, blocking the route. Looks like Hawthorne's going to take care of this, so we should go and talk to some of the locals. Now, there are quests in this game, not only your main mission, but also some side quests, some friend quests, etc., and we have a special tracker over here so that we can find all those. For example, I defeated Klimp, but I haven't talked to him. I probably should do that. Oh, he's understandably a little upset that I beat him. Oh well, here's a little something for me. I got a card pack. Well, thank you. What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? We are going to get a suburban house, shield, cupcake shop, and a fire station. Nothing I don't already have, so unfortunately that's not going to be a game changer for me. Still, you can imagine with a bit of luck and finding really good cards, you could create some pretty powerful decks that give you an edge in all of these extra battles. Speaking of battles, let's jump into another one here against Matilda Stray. Looks like they are going first once again, so I get the lucky stick. What cards do I want to keep here? I'll keep the suburban house, I'll keep the apartment building. I don't think I need to pickpocket early on. Traded that for capital gain, it looks like. Draw a card for every constructed commercial building. I figured I really need some additional card draw, so I was kind of hoping that might help me out. All right, we'll go ahead and place down a house. Move on to the next turn. They're also making a little bit of money from their own house. They're going to try drawing another card. Don't really see a lot of value in the pluck card because, I mean, you already drew a card. Why spend one more acorn in order to get another one card? Now, if there were two cards, I'd understand the appeal, but without it, meh. Let's go ahead and place down the lucky stick since I got nothing else to do. I'm going to place down an apartment building. Let's say up over here, I guess. And I'm setting this up for a couple of really good commercial buildings in this general vicinity. And our turn, moving on. What are you going to do this time, Matilda? Place down the farm. All right. Again, not placing it next to residential buildings, which makes sense. In fact, I'm probably going to do the exact same thing. So let's go ahead and place our own farm. And once that is built, that's going to be another 200 gold for me. Now, some cards are just objectively better than others, right? The farm only costs 3 tokens in order to build up. Gets you 200 and takes 2 turns to build. There's another one that's the windmill. It takes 5 tokens for the exact same thing, right? So some cards are really worth keeping and some are really worth getting rid of. It depends on what you think you're going to want. I have nothing I can really do this turn. I don't need to do capital gain. We haven't drawn any commercial buildings, unfortunately, so we're just going to have to move on, and they're going to be getting a slight advantage over me this turn, but I don't really think it matters. And they stole my money. Well, that was a bad time to use your heist, because you only got $225 instead of $500. You should have held on to that. I guess they had nothing better to do with their time. Well, that's just unfortunate for you. Let's go ahead and do a quick harvest. We got more housing, but nothing else. Where's my commercial buildings? Dang it. This is where I'm saying that there's a certain amount of luck involved, right? Because if you get very unlucky and you can't draw all the things you need, well, it doesn't matter if you have an amazingly good deck, right? Oh, she's restyling my farm. Well, that's just mean. And also, don't place that next to your own farm. What are you doing? That was a terrible choice on Matilda Stray's part. This is early game stuff, so I mean, I don't expect a whole lot out of them. Well, I guess we can place down another farm of my own over here, and then that's kind of all I can do, except maybe go to the apartment and go ahead and level this up. Of course, I'm a little bit concerned about the enemy coming along and trying to steal this building. We did get some restyle cards in this deck. I should be able to get it back. It just comes down to how quickly can I draw the dang thing. Stealing more money from me? I'm back down to being completely broke. Good thing I spent the money upgrading my apartment while I could. Man, freeze? Right, we're getting all sorts of things that do not help me here. These are all attacking them kind of cards. All right, tell you what, let's go ahead and place down a power plant over here next to the farms. That's fine. Once built, it's going to make me a lot of moolah. Another heist. Matilda, please, stop stealing everything I own. This is literal robbery. Well, I get a restyle card back. I guess I can just go ahead and steal my stuff back. It's not worth a lot, but at least I get the money and they don't. Cool, and I'm going to go ahead and freeze, let's say, your farm. All right, let's just go ahead and try to apply a little bit of pain to you for once. Place down a few more residences and stuff of their own. I could place down one of those windmills I was talking about over here. That could be a thing. Still no commercial buildings. That means this capital gain card is useless. Okay, we could place down a bank, which doubles the value of these immediate buildings, so that could be good. Or I could place down like a police station and try to protect some of these and make sure they don't get stolen from me. Yeah. I don't think I want to place down the bank until I'm able to get full value here out of the power plant. So instead, I'm going to go ahead and place down a windmill, let's say right here. And then we are going to destroy one of your good buildings. How about this farm over here? There we go. All right, good enough. And then I can protect all 3 of these with the police station and bank these, and hopefully I get an absolute ton of money, and the power plant alone should carry me to victory. Another theft. Oh my gosh. These players. They're all horrible people. Another restyle. Still no commercial building. I don't know what's happening. I really don't. This is phenomenally bad luck. Okay, we are going to start with the police station. There's no point, actually, now that I think about it. They could just restyle this, and I bet you they have one more in the deck. Let's take a risk and start with the bank, all right? I'm going to start making $1,700 per turn, which means in 2 turns I can win the game, which is still obviously significantly better than them. I'm going to hold on to this restyle just in case. Another shield on their farm. That's completely fine. What else are you going to do? That looks like it. Yeah, fortunately, they ran out of cards and don't have a lot of card draw, so they haven't got very many options, and I do. So what started off as a really good advantage for them is turning into a complete and total rout. Still no commercial cards! What is happening here? Fine. I'll end my turn. It's going to finish a windmill. Next turn, we are going to win the game as long as they don't do anything really tricky. But they should have already used up things like their heist cards. I can't imagine they're going to have a lot left. Another power plant and an apartment building next to the power plant. You're not very good at city planning, are you? And that should be enough money. Finally, a commercial building. Oh, man. Can I just place this just for the sake of it, just to make me feel good? No? Okay, well, it's fine. It's checkmate. I win. Alas for all of us, I played too many practice matches before recording this video, and it looks like I'm out of time in the demo. Don't worry, the demo does have more than 2 matches in it. That's my bad. But I think even after watching just those 2 matches, you have a pretty good idea how this game is going to work. This game is interesting to me because the idea of a deck city builder is already a new concept, but throw in a competitive angle. Oh, and that suddenly does get quite interesting, doesn't it? And you can imagine that this is the kind of game that's very easy to understand and get into, but difficult to master because learning how to build up a good deck that balances risk and reward and luck, right, is a little bit of an art. Presumably, as this game continues to develop and new maps are opened up in the campaign, there will be new cards added in over time, which is going to give you the ability to have a very customized and versatile deck. I could also see this being pretty fun in a multiplayer scene, right? Against actual other people, you get a ranking system, a leaderboard system, and I think that's all actually intended to be added into the game at some point. So yeah, everybody, that's a look at Wild Country and what this game is going to offer. Again, a big thank you to the developers for the sponsorship. If you guys like the idea of this game, you want to try it out for yourself, then I remind you that there is that link in the description down below, and the demo is live for the Steam Next Fest. So give it a go, see what you think. In the meantime, I would ask you hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.